Okay, we're back. My screencast cut me off again, but that's okay. Okay, so this is the first 12 weeks of Anthony Epps, his very first 12 weeks in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you'll notice, this is the number of leads that we sent him, 144. This is the number of offers he made, 21. So when you go 21 divided by 144, you get a ratio. It's right here. In H5, you will see his ratio. This ratio, this is what happened in real time. Anthony made 21 offers over 144 leads. So that ratio, he offers 14.6% of the time. Fair?
Fair.
Okay. So this is his existing ratio. This is what he did by himself. We didn't tell him to do it. This is just what he did on his own will and his own accord. So the question is, if we increase the amount of offers he makes versus the number of leads he gets, that's what this page does, and that's all this page does. This page does nothing else other than that one statement. So the master button is C2. Let's just say Anthony makes 10% more offers. Okay, there we go. We just modeled it. Now the key here is these are the two. Yeah, these are the two boxes I want you to see. This is where the rubber starts to meet the road. I'm going to put it in bright yellow. This is what has to be understood. What Anthony did in column D is make 21 offers. But if he hustled 10% more, you would see that he would make 23.1 offers, which is exactly 2.1 offers more. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's all this page does, nothing else. We can model it as much as we want, obviously. But all this page is trying to do is just show this one ratio. Now let's have a little fun with it. If you notice, Anthony's revenue in I-21 was 116 grand. And by the way, Anthony made that, in two weeks, right? 36 grand and 80.
Yeah.
But if we added that 10% and just carried the math forward, look at what happened. Instead of making 116 grand that quarter, the math suggests he would make 121,854 that quarter, which is a sales revenue uptick of about 4.56%. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to kill this, done with this. Let's go to the next part. Okay, so now we're going to leave offers to there in row E. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, let's say Anthony now is a little bit better at closing deals. Like a little bit, okay? Meaning every time he does make an offer, just a little bit higher percentage of those people say yes. Okay, but first, before I do that, I have to show you his historic ratios. So if you look in column I or box I5, do you see where it says F22 over D21 or F21 over D21? So all this does is it takes the total number of ABs that he gets divided by the number of offers he made. So his existing ratio, the way it was before this exercise, was 5 divided by 21. In other words, Anthony Epps has a 23.8% AB to offer ratio.
Yeah.
Fair statement?
Yep.
Okay. So let's just put in 1%, for example. Or actually, let's put in 10%. Let's see what it does. So now when we put in 10%, I'm going to do this again, putting it in yellow. So do you see how his ABs went from 5 to 5.5? No, that makes sense, right? Because 10% of 5 ABs is 0.5. It's half. It's or it's not half. I'm sorry. It's 0.5. So obviously it goes up 0.58. So what this means, if he was just 10% better at closing deals, that doesn't mean 10% higher closing ratio. It means his closing ratio went up 10%. That's like going up from 4 to 4.4. That's what 10% increasing closing ratio is. So this just means he's got 0.5 more deals. Okay, revenue. I'm going to the next page. Let's say he can increase his revenue just a little bit better by negotiating the seller down just a little bit more. Let's call it 10%. Okay? Fair? You there, dude?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, so what this is this is the percent of offers divided by the ABs. So let me show you. Let's see. H3 times H2 times 4. I think I'm going to skip this one. Oh, no, this is just revenue. Yeah, this is just revenue. I'm sorry. This is just how much money he makes per deal.
It's revenue. Yeah, so 10% more.
10% more per deal.
Big increase here because he already has a big revenue.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's all. It's just carving it out. Okay. Now this last page, this is revenue plus or minus profit divided by the AB.
This looks a little confusing.
I think this one is not even something I want to present. I don't think I finished this one. Yeah. So let's skip that one. So let's skip this one. Okay. Now this right here, this is a complicated page, but I'm going to break it down and I'm going to close.
Okay.
Now, the key here is I don't need people to know I want people to check the math, but I don't need people to necessarily get it this first time through. That's why this is a video, so they can see it again. Here's how this page all really pans out. If you remember Anthony's leads, his average leads his leads per quarter was 144, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you divide 144 leads divided by 12 weeks in that quarter, that means he gets an average of 12 leads per week. Fair statement?
Yeah.
And by the way, this is still all the same numbers. These are all the same numbers. Nothing has changed. All I've done is created an average here of whatever his averages are. And then what I did is this row 10 is the magic row. This is the magic of the compounding. If I go to my master button C2 and I just say Anthony's going to get 1% better at everything. Now this, I got to pause. 1% better, Geoflip is going to be 1% better at delivering leads. Anthony's going to be 1% better at making offers. Those offers that he makes is going to be 1% better at getting an AB status. Those deals that get an AB status are going to be having been negotiated 1% better, lower, which means the margin, the revenue, the profit per deal went up that same 1%. Okay, so that's all. It's just 1% on the 4 or so milestones that's on the sales side. That's it. Okay?
Okay.
Look what happens. Now, what I want you to do is go to row 6. Actually, not row 6. Go to row 5. Do you see? Yep. Do you see how it says in C4 there's 0.013 extra ABs of the AB delta, which means the amount of spread, the profit per deal per week. So in other words, he's got 0.013 more ABs per week if he was 1% better.
Yeah.
Okay. It's small. I know. It's, by the way, that's right here. In row E, this is it. This is where the rubber meets the road right here. In row E11, Anthony normally would have 0.41666666 ABs, but if he got 1% better at those 3 steps preceding, he would have 0.4292928083 ABs. Mm-hmm. That difference, the delta between those two, is this right here. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you take that 0.013 difference per week, keep in mind, per week, and you multiply it times 52 weeks per year, that means Anthony closes 0.66 more deals per year. Tracking?
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's average profit per deal is $38,000. It's right here. It's $38,848 in his first quarter. So it's H30. In H30, he makes an average of 38. So just do the math. 38 grand times 0.66 more deals is an extra bonus of $25,760 in a year. I'll turn it to bright blue so it's easy to see. So do you see how if Anthony is 1% better at 3 steps, it's 25 grand per year more with 1%. I know I sound insane.
Question.
Yeah, go.
Quick question real quick. On J25, it says the delta is $1,100. So wouldn't it be 1,100 times 12?
So let's see, J25. So what is J25? Okay, so what's the question again?
I said, wouldn't it be just 1,100 times 12? I mean, times 4?
Yeah, that's a good question. This math down here is not right. And I started going in a direction and it ended up not being, it's not accurate. But I can't understand why yet.
Okay.
I got to work. I got to get it right. But it's a good question. Because, see, this is where this math was going. It was where you were headed. It's, well, how much money does he make extra per quarter? And let's just multiply it times 4 and then see what happens. But the reason why that math doesn't work, I think, is because, see, if you just add 5% to Anthony's ability to negotiate deals lower, or 1% or whatever percent, that only changes one of the milestones. See, what that doesn't take into account is the compounding.